Hi everyone, and welcome back to the next video in our Nuc saga. As you've probably seen in the previous video, we are queenless. We need to split this colony down. I've laid out behind me 3 Nuc boxes with a couple of frames of foundation in each. What I'm going to do is go through the box, take out a queen cell on 3 separate frames and move those into the Nuc boxes. We'll then divide up the remaining frames in between each of the Nuc boxes, replace this hive with one of the Nucs, and we'll put that in this position so that all the flying bees will come back to this colony, and we'll start the process of building a new nucleus colony here. And then the other 2 boxes we'll just move a little bit further away so that those can develop into small queen rearing Nucs. Hopefully the virgin queen will emerge, go off and mate, and then we'll have replacement queens that we can use, or we can turn those into Nucs that we then build into full-size colonies through the season. So the first thing to do is to just go through and try and find the queen cells that we want to keep. And there were some nice looking queen cells in here, so we'll just gently move our way through until we find those queen cells. And as I mentioned in the previous video, this is a situation that beginners can find themselves in. It's just an unfortunate situation. You get yourself a nucleus colony, and for whatever reason, I think I mentioned in that video that I could well have damaged or killed the queen. So it's important that we just accept the situation that we're in and find a way of managing that so that we can actually turn it to our advantage. And a lot of the time that's what beekeeping is. So we have a queen cell on this frame down the bottom here, which is capped and ready to go. So that's quite a nice smaller queen cell. It's good to check both sides, so just make sure that there are no further queen cells. So we'll pop this one into one of the boxes. And now we need to find the next queen cell. Doesn't appear to be any on that frame, so we'll just move on to the next one. And on this one we've got a nice queen cell down at the bottom here. So we'll be using this queen cell. I think that's the only one on that frame, so we can put that into another Nuc box. And then we need one more, which I think is this frame, which has queen cells on it. We have one at the top, there's one at the side, 2 at the side. We've got a rather small, slightly deformed, dumpy one here, so we'll remove that. I'm not going to use that one. We have got a nice one at the side. Let's just have a look on the other side of the frame. rather large chunk of brace comb here which we can remove. So one of the things that you don't want to do when you're checking for queen cells is to actually physically shake the frame, because that could dislodge the queen cell, could dislodge the queen within the queen cell. So we need to just be careful when we're taking out the old queen cells that we don't want to use. And you can either just brush the bees away with your fingers, or you can use maybe some grass. You could pick up a handful of long grass. Let's see if we can demonstrate that. So you could use some grass just to gently brush the bees. And that's sufficient to move them around so that it reveals the queen cell. So we've got a queen cell on this one, so we'll move that. And all that remains now is for us to divide these last few frames between the nuc boxes that we've got. So what I'm going to do is shake the bees off this frame. This frame is one of the damaged frames, and we're going to move this particular box away. So I'm giving them more bees, knowing that some of the bees are going to be flying bees and will come back to this position. We've got one nuc box that has only currently got 2 frames in and not as many bees, and we'll leave that box here, and that will pick up all of the flying bees that come back to the box here. So we've loaded 2 of them with a few extra bees, knowing that they're going to lose those flying bees when they come back to this position, and we've got 1 box with slightly less in that will pick up all of those flying bees. So we'll just shake these bees off. We'll give them this frame because the bees have started to build some comb on this one. Oops. And then we put in our final frame in here. Then we can pop the crown board on, and this box can be moved away from this position. So now we have our second box. We can just pop the lid on these, and then we can move this box as well. So now we can move this final box. We'll just lift it out of the way first. The bees are getting a little bit grumpy, but that's understandable. So I'll just lift this box out of the way. It's empty, so it's not too heavy. And then I can replace it with the nuc box that we're going to leave in this position. And this is the one that's going to pick up all of those flying bees that are returning. So we need 1 more frame in here. So it's a frame of foundation. So this colony actually looks a little bit light, but they will collect all of these flying bees that are now starting to come back. pop the roof on, and that's our manipulation complete. So you can see that we've got lots of flying bees coming back to the nuc, so they are going to populate this nucleus colony really well. There'll be far more bees in this nuc, so hopefully we'll have a virgin queen emerge, she'll mate successfully, and then we can set up a new nucleus colony that will build up sufficiently to give us a full-size hive going into the summer. The other two colonies are going to be much smaller, so we wouldn't anticipate them building up sufficiently for the summer, but they will certainly be big enough by the end of the season to go into full-size hives and overwinter. I hope you found that interesting. If you've got any comments, leave them below the video or send me a direct message and we'll catch up next time. Thanks for watching.